I don't know what happened, but I have to invite. Oh my God. Well, what happened was that uh, I got this holder to keep everything steady, and someone stole the connection. Someone stole the connection, yeah, and to hold it steady, and the battery went out, and then the whole connection stopped as well. So I don't know what happened. I'm trying to get Melinda back again. I hope she's still there. She is there. She is still there. I hope she can. Saw the Holland Energy shorting post. Maybe it was that, but we're here in Colombia. We don't have that problem for now. Sometimes sometimes we have it, but for now we don't. It was my fault. I didn't check um, the battery. Okay, let's check if she can. This is so funny. This is so funny. Look, I have this thing, and it works really well if you charge the battery.
Yeah, I saw all of a sudden your screen went completely. I felt like we were in an Ozzy Osbourne music video.
Oh my God. I'm going to use that in a reel.
Yeah, you should.
Oh
That,
my God, so funny. But look, the people are just back again. The store is really nice. Yeah, that's really nice, and they're just laughing their asses off. I think that was so funny. That was so funny. I think that because the phone is attached to the Bluetooth of this apparatus, and when it's turned, it goes all off. And I think that made the error there with the Instagram live as well. I think
okay,
because yeah,
that's okay.
this is life.
It's life. This is what happens. It's
This is what happened. And you were talking about something very important. But
I can't remember what we were talking about.
we are just showing another flower. We go on and showing another flower. Look,
Okay.
I, I really want to know what you think about this one because this is pretty hard to maybe to determine what is it. It's like a flamish orange color, like a fireish.
Yeah, it's like kind of a flamish color. Yeah, I guess for that one, if at least from the camera, it looks predominantly yellow, although I can see little hints of like orange in it. So I
Yeah,
think that if it has a stronger orange presence in person, then it's gonna then I think that consumers would probably like it because of the unique color pattern. But if it's predominantly very yellow, then I think it's gonna have a little bit hard time with the consumers because of the strong yellow color. But is there you
I'm
have
sorry, I still have to laugh about that thing. What happened? Sorry, sorry.
that's okay.
So that was so
Yeah.
stupid. Sorry, that was so stupid. Jan is saying that also it has to do with the light. Now, well, we here have this light, so you can see that
Hmm.
maybe it's also due to color change a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that another thing is the centers of the flowers versus the petal color. There's not a huge contrast. I think that if it was a little bit stronger of a contrast, then the men would like it a lot because it's a very strong green with a very strong, like warm color palette. Because in general, men like more warm color palettes than women do.
Nice, also a nice detail, and then that's what I said to Mel as well. Like it would be really nice, and Jan, take notes. Jan, he is one of the guys behind Icon. Take notes that maybe it's nice to do a Skype with Melinda and look where we can put some breeding goals there, so that's, I think it's really interesting. uh, Pura Vida is saying airbrush. Airbrush is also a variety of icon. It's pretty popular. Yes, yes. We didn't showed it in South
Okay.
because the year before we showed it and it won one ribbon, but it was
Oh.
not like really, yeah. It's a bicolor as well.
Mhm.
And when I'm going to show you, you will be saying like, I don't know this one. I'm pretty sure. I don't have it here,
Oh,
but yeah. Well, we can look it up. You can look it up
yeah.
on
I'll
our profile
time. Yeah.
at at Icon Selections. And then we have this one. My breeder is looking at me like, what are you telling? Fairy tales. You were selling my grandma if you could.
Okay. So
So a daisy with a very nice green center,
yeah.
which is on the contrast with the pinkish
Mhm.
petals.
And I like the fact that it is a little bit darker in the center, or it looks a little darker in the center. It's a little bit lighter outside. It adds a level of interest. Um, and then, but the thing with this one, they don't look as open as some of your other varieties. So this one, it could be perceived as less attractive because it's not as open. Um, hmm But
Okay.
yeah, so that could be, but
But
it's a
this one is not that really open neither.
yeah, yeah. I think that one has a similar problem, or not really a problem, but a similar preference issue that may occur.
We talked about it, of course, and I think it's really good that you give this comment on that.
Hmm.
Breeders are also looking to not only look nice and crazy in the shops, but the way to the shop is transport.
Yeah.
So things have to be also getting into the shops nicely and with quality. So what you see is that they also breed with the foliage like this, so it's easy to pack and not with foliage like that, right? So it's like
Yeah.
up. So that's really important. And with the flower, it's a little bit the same. If it's more cup, it will not damage that easily.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that as far as foliage goes, as long as it looks healthy and it's green, they're happy. Um, they aren't particularly concerned of like does the foliage hang, is the foliage up more upright? And so in terms of like how breeders are choosing to breed for, packaging when it comes to leaves, I think that's perfectly fine as it is. But yeah, I know that, breeders want to breed more easier to pack, but can them more open. So that's a discrepancy on what's being bred for and then what is being desired in the marketplace.
Yeah, of course. And you also can also look to like you can cut it a little bit like this, but
Hmm.
then you have to be sure that it will open up later on and not stays like this.
Hmm.
And Jan Haagsma is saying foliage is a subconscious choice.
Oh, okay. I would like to know why you think that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can invite the man.
So I guess like I maybe I can see what you're thinking about that because in the cut flower industry, we think of green as a neutral color and white as a neutral or as neutral because white is the lack of light in an object or object reflecting. But a consumer both green and white as color. And so if you ask them what's your favorite color, sometimes they will tell you white, even though white is technically not a color. And it's technically a tint. And and so I think that's where you're probably going with that. Yellow foliage is a no-no.
Yeah, if we look with a technical eye to it, and maybe even what you said about the flowers, if they have a tint which looks that they are ill, the people don't like it. So
Yeah,
it's the same with the foliage. Is the foliage looks like weak or has a color which does affect the color and it's lighter or whatever, people will think, well, the plant is sick. I'm not going to buy it.
yeah, yeah. I would say if it has like a yellow tint or if it's a super pale green, it could, in some people, have that same effect. Just because consumers, on average, don't know very much about flowers, and so they would perceive that as like, is this sick? I don't want to buy a product that's potentially bad, and so they could avoid it.
Yeah. Look, Pura Vida says smaller bloom circumference when cupped, also perceived value of longer vase life. Well,
Is
yeah. I
breeders?
sorry?
Is that for breeders?
No.
Okay.
It's more the perception of one who enters a shop.
Uh,
But I don't think that my wife is going enter a shop and looks, hey, this flower is a little bit smaller. Oh, it will be holding on longer on base life. Probably not. And that's more lack of knowledge, of course. But I think there is a truth in what he says from a technical perspective.
mm-hmm.
I think, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, you know, yeah, huh?
Funny.
Oh my God, it's so funny. So yeah, really nice. A lot of stuff you were telling us, like to do a little resume. Like I think it's really nice to
Mm.
tell a little bit again. What is the difference between men and women in choices of flowers?
Yeah, so in general, men like more warm color palettes, and a warm color palette are things like orange, reds, and yellows. So men are more likely to go towards that. They're also more likely to pick specifically chrysanthemums, more of the daisy or the ones that have centers and like that really strong contrast between that. Women are more likely to go for cool colors. Cool colors includes blues, purples, and greens, and sometimes some pinks considered cool. It depends, but they're more likely to pick those types of colors. And then they're more likely to pick cushion and also like more antique looking flowers. I know some of the whites are coming back, as well as more of the muted, um, pastels is another word you could use instead of muted colors. So they like those as well.
Hmm.
So,
And children, which colors do they prefer? Asks Jan.
so I unfortunately, there's not a lot of literature on children. The reason for that is because there are a lot of restrictive laws doing experiments with children. As in the past, it's just not seen taken very well. So really, we don't know very much about what children's preferences are. When we think about the cognitive abilities of a child, it really depends on the developmental stage that they're at, because some children don't really, or most children don't form complex emotional capacity until the age of 10. So, I think children, they would probably just go with their favorite color, to be honest with you. Be like, what's your favorite flower? The rose. Why? It's red. They're because children are still developing mentally, and so that's what I would presume.
Hmm. And Jan says that when they are sent to the shop, they will probably choose the tinted flowers.
Yeah, I mean,
Could be.
possible. That's
Yeah.
possible. And it could be the reason they like that is because they're crazy colors look fun. It's hard to say. Again, we can't, at least in the United States, we can't do studies on children without very special permission, and so we generally just don't. We stick with just adults because there's a lot to study when it comes to adults. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, I was. We did also an Instagram live with Jared from Kendall Flowers,
okay.
and yeah, and I said like, yeah, we breeders are at the start of the whole chain, right? We are creating these varieties, but we really don't know really what is happening at the end, at the consumer side. That's what I said to you as well, and I think that it's also important.
Oh, I think so. I think that personally, I would like to see more communication in the industry with um, both ends of the, you know, you guys are on the opposite end of what I consider myself to be on in terms of like the research that I focus on consumers. And I think there should be more communication in terms of, well, what consumers want and how can we service them better? Can we provide products that they haven't considered? You know, how can we provide the best floral possible? So I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, yeah. We were talking about how do you call these people? Ghost buyers? How do you say that? That you are putting people in your shop.
Oh,
Uh,
so in experiments, they're called Confederates. So
oh,
we call them Confederates. And so they go in and it's basically someone who is staged to be there. So yeah.
yeah. So, and I talked about it with Jared as well. Like, is there a thing that we can do that we send a boxes full of our flowers? You guys put it in the nice supermarket sleeves, and then we will see how people will react. And there will be a guy over there who is talking to these people and show them mystery shoppers. Yeah, mystery shoppers.
Yeah, that's probably so yeah, in research we call them,
Ghost buyers. Sorry.
but yeah, I guess the guys call them mystery buyers.
Mystery shopper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that will function. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think that would be really interesting. The most important thing is making sure that you're getting a randomized sample. So making sure that you're not intentionally biasing the sample of people that you're asking by only focusing on one particular store or one particular city. I think, you know, randomizing it across the different areas that you sell in is really important. And then also randomizing it where you're not only showing them one bouquet, where you're showing them randomized different bouquets at each of these different stores, and that can also help.
I'm thinking on the spot. We should do this with the supermarkets.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you guys, why not? I think that would be
We
uh,
we have the contacts.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a great idea, and just look at, what are they buying? Also watching not necessarily what they buy, but what are they picking up? So what do they pick up and look at and then put back down, and do they walk off? So what attracted it to them, but then also what was the barrier that prevented that shopping decision from reaching an actual incentivized reaction. So, it's kind of the initial, ooh, what's the attraction, but then also barrier. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, we should keep on talking about. And
Yeah,
yeah, Jan is saying that they are actually monitoring the bunches, but I think what you just mentioned they don't do.
I don't think they don't have the
Yeah,
manpower for that right now,
no,
unfortunately.
they are not doing that. But it would be really interesting to get to that point. And I don't know, yeah, for us, and I'm actually talking for my breeder as well. It would be really nice to have that information and then also put that in their breeding program, I
Oh,
think.
I would agree with that. Oh yeah, very
Yeah,
interesting. Exactly. Yes.
yeah,
What are
that's
they initially interested in? But then also I think it's interesting, what are they not interested in? So do they continually pick up, if you have 4 days, do they continually pick up two, but the other two? So what's wrong with the other two that's not causing them to be initially interested from the get-go? So I think that would be a really interesting thing to look at.
well, and we are talking about right now about bouquets, but for me,
Hmm.
I can't. It would be really interesting not put my stuff in bouquets, but maybe even in more consumer bunches and show them only like a bunch of the tequila sunrise, a
Hmm.
bunch of Kenobi, a bunch of the Yellowstone orange I showed you,
Hmm.
and check their reactions on that.
Oh yeah.
And maybe a step further is put this stuff into bouquets and then also ask, because that will give another flavor, how they like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a great idea. Look, we see you're already a researcher yourself. You're designing all these experiments.
Yeah, well, because like I said, when we were talking, at SAF, at that same time you saw me thinking a lot, like wow, okay, wow. I was like flabbergasted of all the information you got me, and then I was thinking, but how can I, how we can put that to use? And I put it something on paper, and I didn't even told Jan and Mark neither. I wanted to wait to have this conversation with you, and also spread a little bit my opinion on that. And we have to look where we go from here, I think. And I think we have a really interesting, how do you say that, investigation or teamwork going on here. So yeah, maybe we should talk with the university. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends what you guys are interested in. If you're interested in doing a couple experiments, we can really set that up. It's not a problem.
And maybe team up with some supermarkets,
Oh
put
yeah.
them as well there, and check if they are open to help us out with that,
Hmm.
and set something up which is pretty nice and would be helpful for a lot of people.
I agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
Then I time it's a good one.
Yeah, no, it's I'm still thinking about that stuff. We're gonna end it up. We had a really nice talk, and I'm looking at my watch, and we're already almost talking an hour, so that's really great, Melinda. Um, I hope you to see at Proflora, of course. Next year we have
Yeah.
Proflora in Colombia. Colombia, that's one of the biggest flower fairs in the world. We are going to be there. Melinda is going to be there. Hopefully you guys can come as well. Then you can see us live and direct with our flowers. We are already preparing stuff for that. Although it's October next year, it's going to be crazy. Uh,
Gonna be.
no, and I really love Pro Flora. It's really nice, and it's really nice to see everybody, and it's a really nice fair.
Yeah. Looking.
Um, any last words for every viewer here? Do you have any last words?
If you have any questions about research, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at on my Instagram account, which is what I'm on right now, or you can always go to my email, which is my first and my last name at ncsu.edu. So North Carolina State University .edu. So awesome.
Super. Well, we stay in contact, guys. If you not following me, then follow us at Icon Selections. Instagram is. We're going to put this video and the other one, part one and part two,
Yeah.
on YouTube with the bloopers, all live. It's all live, so that
Oh,
happens, and
yeah.
I love it. I love that it happens. It's some stupid stuff, but who cares? We had a really great conversation. You went back on, so that was really nice. For now, I want to say have a really nice day. We are in the middle of the week, 2 days until the weekend. And Melinda, we keep on talking about this, what we were talking about today. And I really want to thank you to be here with me
No,
because I know you were teaching. You left your students solo.
back to my student.
You have to now run to class. Thank you again, and I see you all people in the next Icon Selections Connects.
All right.
Ciao.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thanks,
No
everybody.
problem.
Bye bye.